Greetings, fellow YouTubers. I am Jeff the Christian Gamer, and I am enamored, uh, awestruck, outstanding presentation by Nintendo. Not their best by any stretch of the word. However, it was pretty darn awesome. I can say without a doubt there was nothing on that thing that I did not want to play. Well, anyway, here we go, a play-by-play of what I thought of the things as they happened. I'm going to go through them in order, so there may be a repeat or two because they did show a couple of games twice, Rocket League, etc. Anyway, they had a little intro cutscene thingy for their competitive esports scene, how they're trying to push that. I was very taken aback by the way that they uh, do that particular type of trailer. It's the fact that they go to the extent of allowing people to uh, express themselves having fun in the setting in which they're playing a game about that thing, if that makes any sense. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it the first time they did it when they were introducing the Switch as a platform, and I enjoy it now. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. In that intro, they went with ARMS, Rocket Ball, Pokken Tournament Deluxe, and FIFA 2018, as well as Splatoon 2. I personally was not too terribly impressed with Pokken Tournament or FIFA, but Pokken Tournament Deluxe seems like something that I could invest in because I have a friend who's been in a couple of videos with me who likes to do fighting game related stuff. He likes to play fighting games. He likes to interact with people who like to play fighting games, and he's really good at them. So we may end up doing a collaboration on that sometime later in the future. But yeah, at the moment, not really necessarily looking too hard at Pokken Tournament or at FIFA 2018. I've never been a sports game person. It's just how I am. I figure if I can if I can play the sport myself, there's no point in me going out to buy a game about playing that sport. Um, yeah, that's just my personal opinion on it. Reggie's intro speech, I yeah, the best line in there to me was "It's about fun." It I think Nintendo as a company acts as sort of a compass, I guess you could say, to what the video gaming industry should be. They aspire to be fun, and that's always been their stance. That's always going to be their stance until such a time as, they go out of business or something. Which don't read into that, please, because there's no way in the near future, in the 10-year, 15, 20-year future, especially because Switch is so popular, that they would ever go out of business. So no, they're not going out of business. But the only time I can consider them not being about fun is if they were to go out of business or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Reggie's speech, it was inspiring. It was a call to the other industries to do better. Uh, their A lot of their focus, a lot of the gaming industry's focus recently has been the edgy, serious game. And while I don't have a problem with edgy, serious games, there's um, the overabundance of them, I guess, is what I have a problem with. That's the best way for me to put it. Um, let's see. Oh, clicked on the wrong thing. Okay. Yeah, Reggie's speech, it was pretty great. A call to arms and a call back to the core of gaming, essentially. And I enjoyed that a lot. The Xenoblade Chronicles 2, as soon as I saw the blue sky and the clouds, I already knew what was up, because that's Xenoblade has always been more about freedom and exploration, and on a grand scale that people can't imagine here on this planet. So I was expecting, and I was right about Xenoblade being that game when I saw the clouds and the blue sky and all that kind of stuff. I love how they return to the British voice acting. Uh, I don't know, something about that particular aspect defined the series for me. It kind of made it stand out in a way that no other series really does. So yeah, that was a thing. I enjoyed that a lot. Um, let's see. Oh, I love the art style because, in my opinion, it kind of feels like a combination of the original Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X. They just kind of merged them together, and it worked really well. I enjoyed that a lot. Um, it's bright and colorful, but it maintains a level of reality that I appreciated a lot. The world looks huge and engaging, and everything that I expected the next Xenoblade installment to be. Um, yeah, I love that they kept within the launch window, the 2017 launch window that they've been uh, talking about since they announced the game. Because a lot of people were talking about the fact that they might actually delay it or that they might do something to it, and I was hoping against all hope that they would maintain that 2017. So until such a time as they actually announce, hey, it's not going to be 2017, I'm going to say, hey, that is awesome. Thank you, Nintendo, for making this 2017. Um, excuse me. There's a new Kirby game coming out in 2018. Uh, it was a very fun trailer, just like I expected it to be. The angry iron kind of rolling down the area, well, sliding down the area towards the enemies, and the giant Kirby ball and the wispy wood boss, all this stuff, all the little elements that make a Kirby game great. You could just kind of see the uniqueness, the flair kind of shining through, and that I appreciated that a lot. Uh, let's see. Oh, the Shinya Takahashi speech. Uh, when he came out there, I was like, "Oh, this guy, he got the bowl cut going on. I think I can get down with this dude. He's pretty cool." Well, okay, by saying that, I probably made myself pretty nerdy, but I don't know. I like the bowl cut. It entertains me. Anyway, when he came out and said, "I felt so relieved," man, shoot, if that comment did not strike a chord with pretty much every Nintendo fan that I've talked to about it, it's like if Switch didn't go well, you could actually start having legitimate doubts as to whether or not the company could stay afloat. And that's no, me personally, as a probably the second or third biggest Nintendo fan that I am personally acquainted with, I cannot, under any circumstance, imagine a world without Nintendo making a new console and tailoring games to that console. It would suck. Like that would be the death of gaming for me. Um, yeah, that I know people don't hold that opinion necessarily, but I mean that's just mine. Uh, yeah, so that comment really struck a chord with me. I was like, yeah, you know what? I see that definitely. Yeah, yeah. I felt relieved. That was the best way to sum it up. He also talked a lot about the spirit of competition and how they're going to continue expanding on that at Nintendo, which alluded to the fact once again that they were going to continue pushing esports, and I'm happy to say that I am very into esports as far as Nintendo doing it and from their unique perspective and vantage, making it into something uniquely them. I can hardly wait to see what they do. We've already gotten a taste with the intro, the ARMS, Rocket Ball, Pokken Tournament, FIFA, Splatoon. We got that little taste beforehand at that intro to let us know, hey, this is our grand scheme for esports, and who knows what else is up the pipeline. A couple of years from now, um, Nintendo might actually become the premier for esports because you can literally play it anywhere. You get a Wi-Fi cafe or something. You go to town on your friends while you're playing arms or something. It's the possibilities are endless, and that's what I think is making the Switch as popular as it is. Um, let's see. Uh, oh, Tsunekazu Ishihara. He he announced a core RPG, a core Pokemon game coming to the Switch. And while I'm not the hugest Pokemon fan out there, well, I mean, at one point I really was the hugest Pokemon fan out there. I knew all 150 by name. I had one of every card, all the holographics. I played all the Pokemon games. I think I kind of grew out of it when they went past the 200 Pokemon mark because I didn't care enough to start remembering that many Pokemon names, you know. So yeah, I kind of fell away around that time. But I mean, I'm not opposed to playing another Pokemon game, especially one that I can play on the big screen and enjoy with friends on the go, and you know, all that kind of stuff. Switch's premise, their entire premise is so airtight and awesome. Like, play anywhere. Just, I mean, what gamer wouldn't like that? Play anywhere. I have 10 minutes, you know, while I'm waiting in the airport. Let me go ahead and whip out my Switch real quick. Then nobody would say no. I don't want to have the ability to entertain myself anywhere. I've never heard anybody say, you know what, I just feel like being bored right now. And so yeah, and Switch was like, you know, I think we got something there, and they do. Well, Nintendo was like that, and they did. Yeah, you know what I meant. Anyway, yeah, core Pokemon RPG. I am ready. I'm ready to see what they've got and actually potentially buy my first Pokemon game since Fire Red. Yeah. Um. Hmm. Oh, Metroid 4. Ooh, you should. Ooh, mercy. Oh, I'm still happy about it. Like every time I think back on that, just any any company that has an IP powerful enough to just show the title and get me hype enough to be screaming at the top of my lungs, yeah! Oh my kids thought I was going crazy. My wife was like, "Are you serious, guy? What is wrong with you?" I mean, she's a gamer too, so when she looked at the Metroid 4, she was like, "Oh, okay, I understand what happened there." But yeah, man, oh, I was super excited. Like that one announcement made me want uh, to make sure that I kept my Switch, or that I would even, you know, get my wife a Switch. I want to get her a Switch so we can play Metroid together. You know, I just needed to have some kind of co-op component, some kind of something where you can connect Switches together, and that would be the perfect Metroid game to me. Metroid Prime 4 was teased during this presentation, and boy, I tell you, I cannot even quantify the level of hype. I'm still, oh, ah, yes, yes, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm good. Coming back around, coming back around. Okay, now, uh, afterwards, like directly after they had a Yoshi game that they presented, um, I'm I'm sort of sold on it. I enjoyed Woolly World a lot. Um, yeah, as far as games go, Woolly World was really great. I didn't ever actually get the chance to completely beat it because my schedule got super hectic as soon as that game came out. I started playing it, and then I got to like World 6 or so, and then all of a sudden life said, you know what, you can't play games right now. And just like punched me in the face with responsibility, and I had to, my light just got brighter. That was okay. Why not? But yeah, it just kind of got serious. Like I had to really buckle down, so I could never get to finish the game, especially not before the Switch came out. As soon as the Switch came out, I have not touched my Wii U. I literally have not touched my Wii U controller in 2 months when I used to play it all the time. So yeah, that's just example of how much more awesome the Switch is than, you know, the Wii U. Not to say the Wii U wasn't a great system. I still believe to this day that the Wii U was a magnificent system. Just the way they marketed it and the way people understood it and the way that the features weren't used to their full potential really hampered it. Like it that's the reason why it failed. Um, yeah, there are a couple of things in the Yoshi game that kind of stood out to me. You have the ability to, well, it looks like, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but it looked like you could like manipulate the screen, like you could flip it or something like that to change day. I don't know. I changed the day and night cycle. I check it out. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but it looks like something interesting along those lines. Um, yeah, it interacting with the foreground and the background of the game um, also seemed really cool. I my mind was kind of spinning, like the gears in my head were spinning as to figure out what in the world would allow a control scheme that would allow you to do that. Like I'm thinking motion controls, which isn't terrible. Like I love motion controls, and I'm probably one of the few people that does that I know, because yeah, they're to me they're very intuitive. Splatoon was very intuitive. Um, Even Wii Sports back in the day was very intuitive. The Skyward Sword, swinging the sword around, was still intuitive. I enjoyed those games because of the motion controls. The motion controls are what made it stand out. Them stand out over any other third-person shooter or any other Zelda game. It's just the motion controls added a little spice to it. Now I will say that at a point I did decide that I didn't want to use the motion controls anymore on Skyward Sword, because I noticed little uh, inconsistencies in how I would swing the sword and how Link would react. But yeah, I mean, motion controls have never been an issue for me, especially with ARMS. Like ARMS is one of those games that uh, made motion controls. Like before, I was like, motion controls, not bad. And now I'm like, dude, motion controls are amazing. Like it changed my entire outlook on what motion controls could be, because the Switch changed the way motion controls work. Like they made it so much more precise and so much more in depth, more sensitive, and it just better in every way. And I think going forward, like that's gonna be my preferred method of play, as long as the Switch integrates those controls properly. Um, the bosses in the Yoshi game, they they look very strange and kind of foreboding. The train dragon thing, I don't know what you call that. The train dragon thing. I like that boss a lot because he looked like somebody that was gonna give me a hard time when I played the game. I like a challenge, and so that particular boss looked like he was gonna be fun. Let's see. Oh, Fire Emblem Warriors. This was another one of those games that kind of tricked me. I was like, oh, is this the what is it? There was a crossover of Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem, and I thought that was the two of that, or like a remake of that one. And I was like, oh, I was okay with the game, but I didn't necessarily, I wasn't 100% on board with it. And for an RPG, for me to not be into an RPG is very, very, very rare. Like I've played pretty much every RPG out there, like for every system that I've come across, like every system that I've ever owned, I bought every single RPG that I could find for it. Even the Quest 64, old school Quest 64, even that game I bought. And I mean, of course, it was a little bit lackluster. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it was. I bought every RPG that I could find for every system that I ever had, and so yeah, to not be all the way down with an RPG, like I want this now, was strange to me. I don't know if that's gonna affect how affect whether or not I actually purchased the game, but yeah, yeah, it was weird. Like I was like, it looks cool, and it seems like something I would be interested in playing to a degree. But yeah, the the story seemed kind of generic. Like, oh, dragon comes down and the dragon is bad and bad things happen, kingdom falling apart. It felt generic to me. I don't know if when we get more information whether or not I'll be more into that game, but it was more of like a to me, at least right now. Um, Interested to play, but not necessarily 100% down yet. Let me see. Hmm. Oh, yeah. When Marth started speaking English during that trailer, I was like, you, you couldn't have just couldn't have been doing that from the start. I mean, I know y'all have your limitations at Nintendo when it comes to localization, etc. But I'm gonna need Martha to speak English a little bit sooner. Anyway, that was just my personal opinion. I was like, maybe read all those subtitles all that time, and he could speak English. Anyway, yeah. The next thing here, Legend of Zelda announcements. Oh yes, oh yes. This is another point in the presentation where I kind of had a fit. Like I was like, yes, whoa, yeah. Um, the Skyrim with Zelda items in it. Like, okay, ever since I saw Skyrim, I was into the idea of playing the game because again, RPG. But when they announced it for the systems that they announced it for, I just kind of checked it off of my list of things to play because I'm never gonna own a PS4. I'm never going to own an Xbox. I'm not. They don't interest me. They're more or less a bunch of first person shooters and the occasional really awesome game. Like I've been tired of first person shooters since Jet Force Gemini on the 64. Like no, probably since about Halo. When Halo came out, that's when my interest in that genre of games fell away. And it just so happened that at that time there was a boom of first person shooters and yeah, that completely put me away or put me out of love with PlayStation because at the time I was a hardcore PlayStation fanboy, and then as soon as they started announcing all the Call of Duties and the Halos for all of the systems, well, okay, Halo's a Xbox exclusive, I know that, but when they started announcing all of these first-person shooter games for these other systems, and then Nintendo kind of kept with their tried and true formula of making great fun games, I was like, okay, that tears it. I'm a Nintendo fan. That's it. I don't have any other interests as far as games go besides Nintendo now because it's essentially first person shooters, third person shooters, the occasional action game, and for PlayStation RPGs. Like, that was it. And I was like, the RPGs aren't worth the 300, 400, and now $500 price tag to get a system that I'm only getting for one game. And Nintendo was consistently more than one game. But yeah, anyway, Skyrim. Man, I tell you, when they announced Skyrim for the Switch, that just made me all that much more in love with the system itself because they were pulling third parties, even for older games like Skyrim. Skyrim's 6, 7 years old now. It's aged well in my opinion, and I still want to play it. So the fact that it's coming out on the Switch, hey, I'm getting it. And then the fact that they, of course, announced the usual little Zelda trinkets and things that you could, pick up and find along the way with your amiibos. I was like, yes, this is right. This is good. Uh, but yeah, you guys saw that Zelda, the Master Sword prop that Anuma had. I want it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I saw him pull that out, like I'm like, yeah, I want it. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I would love to work at Nintendo for their cool props and to make their cool props and to hold them. I don't even want to necessarily take them home or actually have them own them. I just want to like hold the Master Sword up over my head and take a selfie or something. Yeah, that was my feeling on that. I just wanted to. Oh, yeah, that's. Anyway, let's see. Oh, the DLC packs for Breath of the Wild, they both look really fun. The Heroes Path mode in the first pack, showing you the path that you take. I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to do speed runs where they complete the game as fast as possible in the shortest amount of time with the best path and all that kind of stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of competition in that regard. Maybe it'll be like a online thing. Maybe Nintendo will host some kind of esports thing where they have to complete a certain task with the shortest walking distance or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, it seemed like it'd be really fun just to compete in that, albeit a long, slow competition for the most part to actually beat the game. I could see like little snippets like go find Impa as fast as you can, or go to this place or that place and complete this many shrines and do it as fast as possible in the shortest amount of distance traveled, and that I can see that happening, and it would be really awesome. I would be down with that. Um, let's see. Oh, the Champions Ballad. What? Like the pack that's gonna expand more on their story or something. I'm assuming right now. This is total assumption. It seems like they're gonna go into more detail about who they are as characters, and yeah, that should be pretty darn cool. I'm ready for that. The new amiibos are coming out for that. The champions amiibos. I'm going to get all of them. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But yes, I am ready for that too. Yeah. There was no part of the Legend of Zelda announcements that I was not completely sold on 100%. However, there were little parts that stuck out to me, and the amiibo stuck out. The Heroes Path mode stuck out. The Champions Ballad stuck out, and that was, yeah, I was so hype. Um, the second part of Reggie's speech was for Magic Week. I am curious about it. Like I know they were doing the Splatoon thing, probably right now. Well, no, it's probably a little bit past that time. I'm recording at like 9 o'clock at night, so they're probably done. Well, 9 o'clock Mountain Time, so 8 o'clock Pacific, so they're probably done with that. But yeah, I'm gonna check out the feeds, the videos from it, so I can see what awesome Splatoon moves there are that I've been missing. So, eh. Um, yeah, the second part of Reggie's speech was it was all right. It was pretty good. It wasn't as arousing or energizing as the first part of the speech, but it was still pretty good. Oh, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Whoo! Very, very, very mixed feelings on that. When I elbowed my headset by mistake. I thought I was gonna be picking them up off the floor. Anyway, when I first saw it, like the first picture of Mario plus Rabbids, I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, no, what are you doing? Like, that those times where you're like, what are you doing, Nintendo? I had one of those moments when I saw Mario plus Rabbids because I'm not a Rabbids fan. I'm not. I'm still not. However, as they explained how the game is going to go, the RPG elements, etc. This wasn't done during the presentation. This was a something earlier by a previous presentation. But anyway, yeah. As I saw the way that they expanded on how the mechanics are going to work, the fact that it was a turn-based RPGs, I am a sucker for turn-based RPGs. That is my favorite type of RPG. Like, if it is an RPG, generally speaking, I want to play it. But if it's a turn-based RPG, there is absolutely no question as to whether or not I'm going to purchase that RPG for the system that I have, if I have the system. So, yeah, it was a turn-based RPG, and I was like, okay, fine. Fine. I might have to check this out. I might have to eat my words here. I might end up being a Rabbids fan at the end of this, I hope. But yeah, it was, as they explained more about it, it seemed a lot more interesting. They announced the release date for it, the 29th of August. Uh, yeah, the the guy that did the presentation, like the spotlight presentation for Mario plus Rabbids. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a full name, by the way. His accent was so real, like super awesome and super French. Uh, not saying that's a bad thing by any means. I thought it was cool, but see, I find the strangest things cool. I find lame things cool, and that is why I feel I'm awesome. I like the little things, little things. But yeah, Yves Guillemot, Guillemot. I don't know how to say his name, but yeah, he was cool. I liked him as a person. He seemed really really chill. Like I would say, hey, what's up to you, guy, and I could see us having a conversation. But anyway, yeah, um, still skeptical. I'm not gonna lie, still skeptical. But the turn-based RPG thing, eh, I'm going to probably end up buying it just out of virtue of that. Whether or not it'll be a good game, still anyone's guess, but they're starting to sell me on it. Yeah. Um, Rocket League trailer. Uh, the only part of that really stood out to me that I hadn't seen before, gameplay wise or anything like that, was the fact that they said cross network play. If they can make cross network play work, like truly work for that game, it'll be the realization of a dream that I have wanted to have to see come to fruition for the longest amount of time. I've been um, wanting to play video games with all of the friends that I've had over the years, and the hindrance to that was the fact that I was one of 7 Nintendo fans out of the 20 or so people that I knew in my life up to now and that I actually associated with and liked. Uh, I was one of the few. And so, because, well, 7 out of 20 is not that. It's just almost half, but still, like the people that even were Nintendo fans didn't necessarily play their Nintendo system very often. So that again, me, the guy that could only afford a Nintendo system and only necessarily liked Nintendo systems up until PlayStation 1. Um, yeah, I was kind of left out, and so this was like my favorite portion of this presentation was the fact that cross network play would allow me to finally be able to play with all those friends together, assuming they get Rocket League. I don't know if they're going to get it, but if they do get it and are able to, talk or something, I don't know how that's going to work. How are they going to do cross network play? Is it going to be like a friend code thing specifically for Rocket League? I mean, I don't know. I'm Man, my brain is all over the place speculating about it, and I cannot wait to see how they do it. But cross network play, good grief, goodness gracious, good lord, OMG, I am ready. Like that's the realization of a young boy's dream as he has become a man. That's what that is for me right now. So Rocket League, do your thing, do it well, and I am guaranteed to get your game. This point blank period. Um, Super Mario Odyssey. That trailer, the beginning of it tricked me like so hard. Like I was thinking when I saw the T Rex run across the thing, I was like, "Oh, Monster Hunter. Okay, cool, whatever." And uh, in case you don't know, I'm not necessarily the biggest Monster Hunter fan. I like the game series, but it seems so repetitive that I can't stay into it. Like I played 6 or 7 hours of the Wii U version of Monster Hunter, and I couldn't anymore because it felt so repetitive. Um, anyway, yeah, it tricked me into thinking it was a Monster Hunter game. I was like, meh. But then all of a sudden, the Mario hat on his head. I was like, oh, you sneaky devils. Oh, but yeah, so they got me there. Um, I watched the whole trailer kind of in awe as they showed this new mechanic of being able to possess the enemies, the normal what would normally be enemies, or the people in the city, or tanks, or any number of items you could take control of with throwing your hat at them. I thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in video games. Like I know it's something that has happened before, like it's essentially a kind of a recycled idea, but the way they did it and the applications that they're thinking of for this, I'm pretty sure because it's Nintendo will be pretty fresh feeling. Um, oh, the song in the trailer, it was great. Uh, it it felt jazzy, like of course it was a almost like 50s, what that sort of 50s feel to it. It was great. Um, it was interesting. It was fun. It was cool. Like I appreciated the fact that the entire time throughout their presentation, they made an active effort to make their presentation fun. I enjoyed the fun aspect of it. It was refreshing. It was neat. It was cool. It made me happy to see that there was a company that still gets it on a level that nobody else gets it right now. Um, so yeah, overall impressions, there weren't any games that I would outright say no, I do not want to play. Um, in fact, generally speaking, I'm going to end up probably purchasing all of these games before the end of the year, or as they come out. And yeah, that's all I can say. Like for the other presentations that I saw some of Bethesda's, I saw the Xbox presentation, I saw Sony's presentation, I saw a little bit of EA's. For what I saw of them, apparently I got a message. But yeah, from what I saw of them, I can I can say with relative certainty that no other presentation made me well, definitely no presentation made me outright cheer um, like the Nintendo presentation did. Uh, Detroit Become Human was the only other game that I saw that I was just like, wow, blown away, awestruck. I need to play this now. Like that was the only other game outside of the Nintendo presentations that was just it felt it felt vital. Like that would be the game that would make me get a PS4 if I were into getting systems for just one game. Like it that would be the one because it looked so deep and so interesting and so intriguing and sci-fi and all that kind of stuff. That's essentially another video. I could do more coverage of E3 beyond Nintendo, but I had to do the Nintendo one because everything, everything in that presentation made me at least curious about the possibility of the games that they put forward. Um, None of it felt like fluff. None of it felt like they were talking just to talk. They all had their purpose. They all had their design. They all had a discerning quality that made them uniquely necessary for that presentation. Um, yeah, I can't. There were no other presentations that were on that level, at least in my opinion. There were some very succinct presentations. Let me see. Ooh, that's terrible. The studio that made Beyond Good and Evil, that was one that was really, uh, as far as presentations go, the presentation was pretty succinct, pretty tight. Um, I would say that would probably be a close second. Oh no, Sony and that company, Sony and the Beyond Good and Evil folks probably tied, in my opinion. But yeah, Nintendo indisputably number one for me. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm gonna let you guys get back to whatever awesome thing you were doing. Perhaps listening to my podcast whilst doing chores or uh, contemplating the meaning of life or some such deep matter. Thank you guys very much for watching. I am Jeff the Christian Gamer. Of course, if you would like to like and or subscribe, you may do so by clicking on the links. Yeah, right there, down that way, down that, yeah, down that way. Also, if you'd like to check out other videos that I've done, they will be up on. Oh, I've never done this before. I'm so sorry. It looks so bad. Up here and right there. So yeah, thank you guys so much again. I am once more Jeff the Christian Gamer. Have a wonderful day, morning, evening, night, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.